I'm Macy Egland. This morning, we're learning more about how a plea was reached with the Gilgo Beach serial killer. Yesterday, Rex Heuermann admitted to killing 8 women in a crime spree that began back in 1993. We learned that 8th victim was Karen Vergata, who was killed in 1996. In an exclusive sit-down interview with NewsdayTV, Suffolk District Attorney Ray Tierney said an offer was made to Heuermann.
We had strongly suspected that he was responsible for the Karen Vergata case. He took responsibility for that, so we said in return for these 7 pleas of guilt and your willingness to take responsibility for the Vergata case, we'll just, include that in the disposition.
Coming up in 2 minutes, how the DA also got Heuermann to cooperate with the FBI. The town of Riverhead wants to seize the future headquarters of the Long Island Science Center. The nonprofit says it's ready to renovate this vacant storefront on Main Street, but officials say the building is in bad shape and are skeptical about the financing in place. The center insists it has the resources to open. A public hearing has to be held before the town can acquire the property. More housing could be coming to Baldwin. The business partners behind Long Island Bagel Cafe want to turn this old location into a 58-unit apartment complex on Grand Avenue. 3 other buildings they own on the street would also be part of that plan. Only in Newsday, Barry Manilow's upcoming show at UBS Arena has been postponed. Monday's show, as well as all of his other concerts, are on hold due to doctor's orders. The 82-year-old Grammy winner was diagnosed with lung cancer in December. So far, no makeup dates have been announced. Let's talk about your Thursday forecast now. Another chilly day on tap, but we do have some warmer weather in sight, so we're getting there. Today, your Thursday, it's sunny. The temps rise up into the upper 40s today, close to 50 in some spots. Tomorrow starts a stretch of nice weather, though. Look at that through the weekend. Saturday, we're reaching close to 60 degrees. A little bit cooler on Sunday, but next week, really looking up in the 70s for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
The Gilgo Beach serial killings case has come to a close now that Rex Heuermann confessed to killing 8 women. Hours after that admission in court, Suffolk District Attorney Ray Tierney sat down with our Doug Geed for an exclusive one-on-one interview.
Let's talk about that 8th homicide. So he admits to it, but yet it doesn't factor into the sentencing. Just to explain that.
Yeah, so I think that, when we were sort of envisioning, how if there was going to be a plea, what would it look like? Since we weren't giving really any break on the time, given the nature of the case, in return for that, if there was other homicides that we could close and provide closure to the families, we wouldn't charge those additionally. So, that's what we offered, and there was a discussion, and we had strongly suspected that he was responsible for the Karen Vergata case. He took responsibility for that, so we said in return for these 7 pleas of guilt and your willingness to take responsibility for the Vergata case, we'll just include that in the disposition.
Okay, so legally it kind of closes that case for you and gives closure to the family, as you said.
Yes.
Okay.
And even if we had charged it, it's not like he would have gotten additional time.
Right.
Effectively.
The FBI cooperation, where did that come from?
Yeah, I think that was something that in talking about it, I think that that was something that, given my federal background, I suggested it. I think when people think of the FBI, they think of the TV, the TV FBI, and the real FBI is effective. It's just different. And that BAU, they have a clinical analysis side where they sort of clinically examine people to try to gain insight on them as sort of a scholarly pursuit to try to figure out the motivations, the origins, and how to prevent it or mitigate it. So it's on the clinical side and the scholarship side to sort of educate us better in these types of cases.
I want to get the quote right. I think it was Commissioner Catalina, a sadistic, soulless, murderous monster. And the sheriff, talking about his whole life is in corrections, has met the worst of the worst, yet it was so chilling to me how he just appeared so normal. That also struck you, right?
Yeah, I think the thing that really struck me is the duality of it, where he had these two sides of himself, and he was very disciplined in his ability to keep both sides separate, and to really hide one side or the other from those that he wanted it to keep hidden.
Yeah.
And that's easier, you see it in the movies, and but in real life, that's really, really difficult to do, and he was very adroit at it.
Is the scariest someone like him, where you wouldn't think twice if you walked by him, yet now you know that this is, as he's been described, a monster?
Yeah, I think it's, I've dealt with a lot of different cases and a lot of really dangerous people, and I think they're all dangerous, but I think that the thing that strikes me about him is that duality and that discipline, and that we all say we're gonna keep things one way and or the other, and we sort of backslide because we don't have the discipline. So the discipline he had to sort of maintain the tremendous toll of this dual life is sort of chilling.
Did you hear any remorse, any sympathy for victims? Did you get any of that from him?
Well, I think we're at the state. Today we did the allocution, and the allocution is those are specific questions asked specifically to establish the elements of the crime, so the judge will accept the plea. So you're not going to get that in this hearing. At the sentencing, he'll have the opportunity to address the court, and to the extent there will be those sentiments expressed, you would expect to see that at that hearing.
You can find our full coverage of the Gilgo Beach killings case on Newsday.com. Here's what's up on Long Island to see clowns, acrobats, juggling, and more when Circus Vasquez comes to the island. The international act brings its tour to the South Shore Mall starting Friday. Or learn how to fish on Saturday, fly fishing. Lessons on basic fly casting are being taught at the Connecticut River State Park Preserve starting at 10 a.m. Reservations are required for that. And sing along with Mike Del Giudice. He performs some original music, plus fan favorite classics, Friday and Saturday night at the Paramount. For admission information and even more events, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box on our homepage. Time now for the best in high school sports. Here's Jared Veluzzi.
It was an action-packed week across all spring sports here on Long Island, especially in lacrosse, flag football, and baseball. But we'll start off with some boys lacrosse, as MacArthur's Johnny Nessler would tie a school record. This was goal number 8 in MacArthur's win over Seaford. And also in Nassau County, Garden City with a non-league matchup here. This unsettled situation is going to turn into a Ben Smith snipe in a GC win. And in Suffolk County girls lacrosse, ESM, their skip pass here is going to turn into a Taylor Murtha finish as the Sharks took down Bayport. And Ward Melville girls lax, they traveled to Connecticut to take on New Canaan, and 8th grader Vivian Spidell. What a catch and what a finish for the Patriots. And in flag football, Longwood and Northport, they went into overtime, and Claire Scalfani of Longwood's going to scramble, and she's going to find Cameron Green for a touchdown. Longwood took the lead, but now it was Northport's turn on offense. And the Tigers, they needed a big play here on 4th down, but Liana Colazzo has a different idea in mind. She has the game-ending sack as Longwood comes away with the win in overtime. And in baseball, we'll head back out to Nassau County as Massapequa down 3-1 against Garden City, but AJ Kanza comes up clutch. He drills that ball deep into the outfield. 3-run score for Pequa as they come back to take down GC. And in the Catholic League, St. Anthony's down 1-0, but Hunter Rogie plays the role of hero. 2-run score off this hit, and St. Anthony's wins this one in walk-off fashion. As the Friars beat Kellenberg 2-1 in that game. What an incredible week it was here in spring sports on Long Island. I'll be back next week with some more fantastic plays.
Jared's plays of the week are just part of Sarah Sounds Off. This week, Greg Sarah focuses on the Suffolk Hall of Fame class of 2026. To watch, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. You can see more on all of these stories on our website, Newsday.com, and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see here. I'm Macy Eglund. We've got more local news coming up.
The Newsday Critics Pick Award means we've already done the work. Every cuisine, every budget, reviews you can trust. And right now, Newsday's critics have picked the best burgers on Long Island. Find the full list at newsday.com/burgers. That's newsday.com/burgers.